So, October is close and you are an artist unsure about joining the Inktober challenge or probably unsure about what Inktober is all about. Well, here's some answers for you why you should definitely join and how this whole challenge can boost your art skills big time. Hey everyone, I am Stefan, I am a digital artist and I'm just starting out on YouTube, so each subscription is very much appreciated, so hit that button and let's go with this video. Thanks very much. You may have heard about Inktober before. It's a very popular art challenge. It's existing since 2009 and the goal is to create one piece of artwork each day of October. I took part a couple of times and I can tell you it's a real challenge, so it's really hard to create something each day of a month. But I can also tell you that it can really push your own art forward very much, so you can experiment with your own style, and it's a fantastic way to kind of define the direction you want to go as an artist. This challenge is so intense that it kind of speeds up the progress you make, and it's kind of compressing the progress you would probably make in several months or maybe even a year within 1 month. And I'm going to show you some tricks how to make this experience even better and some advice on how to stay active and like how to really stay motivated, because that's one of the hardest parts of the challenge, to really keep it going and to not give up at some point. But the great thing is you just don't need any kind of expensive gear or something, so you don't need to buy an iPad for this. Just grab a pencil and paper and you're ready to go. By now, many artists like me also have their own October art challenges. Mine is called Plastober and it has some little cool twists and additional ideas. So if you want to join, check it out on Instagram, it's linked in the description. So my first and probably most important advice is to see this challenge as a real live practice. As a professional illustrator and artist, you have to come up with ideas fast and have a really quick turnaround time. So there's kind of the need for making art each day. And that's exactly what Inktober is. It can give you an impression of what it is like to work as an artist or as an illustrator, and it can prepare you for this kind of profession very much. I think it's a great training for everyone to become good at having a fast turnaround and to generate concepts in a very fast and continuous manner. However, I think creating one piece each day can be really intimidating and you can lose motivation very fast, especially if you have an art style that is extremely detailed and that doesn't allow you to create something each day because you're just not that fast. This is why I created Plastober a little bit different. There's 3 days that you can just take off or that you can use to prepare for the upcoming prompts. And then there's also weekly prompts that are meant as an overarching subject or a topic for the week. But I mean, life happens and probably you got a partner who demands some attention or you need to go to school or whatever. And it's no problem to just take the weekly prompts and make one artwork per week and really kind of go for a more relaxed mode, because this is not meant to stress you out or create any kind of pressure on you. This leads directly to the next tip I have for you, and that is plan ahead. You can totally start now by dealing with the prompts and having a look at how you would interpret them, what your initial ideas would be, like set up some mind maps, just write down some ideas and collect probably also some moods. That's no problem, it's not forbidden to plan a little bit ahead. For example, what you see here is my sketchbook, where I just write down any kind of idea or any thought I have when thinking about the prompts. And there's of course different ways to interpret the prompts, so I just put down some ideas, collect some images, collect some references. This kind of preparation makes it much easier to create the piece of art when the day of the prompt comes in October. The next piece of advice I want to give you is do not limit yourself when it comes to your style and what tools you use and what mediums you use, because Plastober or Inktober is there for experimenting a lot. And with experimenting, I do not mean only the visual style you have, but also how you approach the prompts and how you show and how you conceptualize the subjects you want to show. For example, in 2020, I had a super intense Plastober year because I invested so much time into my artworks because I wanted to find out new ways to show and to display my art. For example, I tried different perspectives and I also tried different approaches of storytelling, like how to explain, how to show the prompts and how to include a little story in everything. And the results you can see here are still influence me up to today. It's 2 years later now, and for example, back then I started experimenting with isometric art that is now, today, a style that I use a lot and that I am known for. So as a conclusion, tip number 3 is to really use this challenge to try out yourself, to think outside the box, to experiment as much as possible, to train your style, to develop your style, and to really kind of use this to build up and train your personal visual language, and you will benefit from it years later. Let's move on to tip number 4, which is routine. This one is quite self-explanatory, but I still want to point it out because it helped me personally very much when I, a couple of years ago, started to draw each day again, to make art very continuously. So how does this kind of routine work exactly? It's just to keep like a certain time slot each day free for making art. That's it in the end. I personally liked to have like around 1 hour each day after dinner for me, myself. And I sat down like sometimes only 30 minutes, sometimes 2 hours, whatever my daily routine allowed, of course. But it kept me going and kept the creative flow kind of going, you know? It's really about not stopping making something. That's the most important thing here. And this routine, even if it's just a couple of minutes each day, will help you. I'm pretty sure about that. It will help you to get over the October art challenge, Inktober, Plastober, whatever challenge you're going to take over the month very much easier. I also additionally want to recommend to not completely forget your social life. So it can happen that you get into a flow and that you're kind of creating, I don't know, 3 days in a row without kind of leaving your home. I would recommend to keep the balance because it can burn you out quite quickly, and then it happens that after 10 years, sure, that after 10 days you're losing motivation and you kind of break the challenge because you just can't keep it up. So for example, I often think like the weekend is coming up and I have Saturday, Sunday, I have for myself, I can draw all the time, but then the weekend is there and you see like your brain and your body need a break, and that's why I can really recommend to keep a balance, to not overdo things in the beginning, but really kind of, yeah, start a routine. That's what I wanted to tell you, right? And here we go with number 5 of my advices, which is have fun. A month-long challenge of making art daily can be super stressful, and it's all about trial and error. It's about experimenting. It's about failing as well. And Inktober can really help to learn to accept that you can't create something super nice and super beautiful every day. So you will make crappy art, you will make ugly things that you're not proud of, but that's part of the challenge. But what I wanted to tell you here is that don't let this kill the fun. I know that a lot of artists see this challenge as a kind of race, so they want to prove to themselves and others that they are capable of creating a piece of art each day of the month, and they want to just make it, which is great, which is fine, but that's not for everyone. And if you feel like kind of a lack of motivation, or if you feel stressed out at some point of the challenge, I would recommend to just leave out a prompt, continue the next day, chill and relax a little bit. This doesn't include that you have to skip any prompts at all. So if you have a prompt that you really like, but you can't find the time or motivation to do it at this point, you can still do it in November or December. It doesn't run away, right? So whenever you have the time and the motivation is back again, you can pick that up and make something nice out of it. However, it is important to keep the tension up over the month. So if you pick up the pencil after a 7-day break, it won't be so easy to get back to the routine again. I can really recommend to kind of find a balance between the fun and also the challenge, because the tension is what keeps you going and also what keeps the motivation alive. I hope you found my 5 points of advice helpful for your own challenge. Please let me know in the comments if you have any experience with Inktober challenges, because I would really love to hear your kind of experience from the past years, or if you have any advice for people who are completely new to this, just let me know. And yeah, if you like this, please subscribe and have a look at my socials. I'm constantly putting out new tutorials, new pieces of advice, new helpful stuff for up-and-coming artists. And of course, if you like my own Plastober list, feel free to join. I really appreciate everyone coming on board and make this a great community event. So have fun, guys. Much success to every one of you. Keep creating art and see you soon. Bye-bye.